This part in particular is my favorite part of the whole story. The way that she describes the sunrise itself, the way that the landscape transforms from a place of darkness into a place of light. Welcome back to the Rooted Minds podcast. We have a very special episode for you today because over the course of October, we hosted a short story contest at Rooted Minds where we invited some of our writers to come and submit a short story based on our theme, which was light in the darkness. And oh my goodness, we had some incredible submissions. Every single one of the submissions that I read was stunning, beautiful. I was so impressed and amazed by every single writer. And so today's episode is all about celebrating the winner of our contest, who is Esther Hawley. She wrote a short story called While the Light Fades, and it was just such a beautiful representation of both the theme and many other things, which we're going to talk about in this episode, because this is the reward for the short story winner.
So exciting.
So we're going to talk about it. So basically, to sum up Esther's story, she wrote a story about this wounded soldier and his journey of overcoming despair by connecting with nature. And to me, it was such a beautiful representation of overcoming like such a heavy emotion. That's something that we love to talk about on this podcast.
Absolutely.
We come together as a family to talk about our brains and our emotions and all these things.
Yeah.
And so in this one, I felt like she really captured just overcoming despair, coming back to hope and to joy through reconnecting with the beauty of creation. So first of all, let's just talk a little bit about the theme and what that was and what you guys remember from reading the story of how she captured that light in the darkness theme.
Well, I feel like first of all, I feel like the way that she wrote it was very beautiful. Like, even like the language that was used to describe things.
Yeah, it was a lot of sensory words. Like you were immersed into this dark place that wasn't just like physically dark, but it was like just a desperate place where whatever you thought was supposed to happen didn't. And now you're in this place of having to be left to carry on.
Yeah.
And that feels like it carries like the essence of darkness.
Right?
Yeah, literally.
We're seeing pain, we're seeing disappointment, we're seeing literal like shade and shadows.
Yeah.
And all of those things represent darkness in that clear way.
There's also like a mystery to the unknown of what like she purposefully doesn't tell, which I think paints a beautiful picture in itself.
Yes, and part of the powerful thing about how Esther captures the theme, light in the darkness, was the way that she painted the light at the end of the story in contrast to the darkness that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because basically this wounded soldier experiences this darkness, and like you said, this feeling of this did not go the way that was
Well, he finds
expected.
his friend that has not made it, and now he's injured and trying to like carry on.
Yeah, it's definitely like a despair, that feeling of like I don't have the resources to
Absolutely
overcome the situation.
That's a great definition of despair, is just at that point recognizing you don't have what you need to survive. Is what he feels like.
Yeah.
And so like just the fact that he's like every step is a battle. Every decision to keep going, to not just give in. And he gets to this point where, it's like the night is ending and the dawn comes. And that is like one of the most beautiful pictures of light. Like there is hope. And that's what defeats despair.
Yeah. And the way that Esther ended her story was just with this soldier like making this audible confession where he says the sun still rises. And I thought that was just
So
like
good.
What a beautiful way to end the story, because he witnesses a sunrise. And that's just something that I think we can take for granted a lot of the time, a sunrise, but it's such a cool picture of what John 1 talks about, where it says, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness cannot overcome it or comprehend it. Just that feeling of like the darkness feels really strong, but as soon as there's a little bit of light, like the darkness can't overcome it.
I also really love the way that she did write the ending, because I think there's this way that it could be in some, like, when you use that phrase, like, oh, there's like hope and light, there's a sunrise, it can feel cliche. And the way that she wrote it was so believable.
Yeah.
That you're connected to this main character and their pain and their despair. And when they do make that audible confession, like the sun rises again, it's like, again, so believable that you're drawn in and you believe the hope with them.
Yes.
You believe that joy in a I think it's the right amount of hope for that character to experience, to feel real.
Yeah.
Not like all his problems are fixed.
Right.
Or he meets his new best friend right away. Like
right. It's not like the gash in his side is healed.
No, but it's like the reality of what it means for the sun to rise again.
Yeah.
Just is so weighty and so beautiful, I think.
Yeah, and it lets the readers, lets us, kind of like understand and discern for ourselves what the fullness of that hope means for the sun to still rise again,
Yeah.
And so I just love the description and the imagery in Esther's story. So just what makes it feel so effective? Like, why is this description and imagery so powerful? How does it affect you?
Well, I was just fascinated by first of all, we have no idea where this person is, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like what time period. Like, there were so many details not included that it makes the ones that she did use like very intentional and very weighty. And it's like instantly you're connected to the character and you're not worried about all the differences of I don't know that location or that time period or if this is historically accurate. You're not asking any of those questions. You're just in the moment.
She captured a moment and you're in it with them.
Exactly.
That's so good.
Yeah, it like allows you to focus, to really focus in on the emotion rather than just like the facts and the things that are happening at play.
Right.
Because, if it's like so specific, then it almost makes it like a little bit harder to relate to the more specific it is, like,
so
I've never fought in a war personally.
Right.
I hope that Esther has not either. But by withholding those details, she allows the emotional experience to be more universal. Because we've all felt despair, for sure.
Right.
We've all felt that hopelessness feeling, and so that allows us to.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we are wounded and can't find anybody to help us. Like his friend was gone and he has this gash. He has got to take care of himself. Like, there's all these varying levels of what it could symbolize.
I also really liked the way in which she described things. It was just like intriguing to me. Like, I think she said one time, I could be getting this a little bit off, but like a willing sapling or something. And she was talking about a tree and like him pulling himself. And just like the way that she wrote that was like not what I expected. I don't know what I expected, but it was like not what I expected in the best way.
Yeah. It's such a cool little, like a personification type of thing where it's like the sapling takes on some human characteristics and it says she makes it sound like the tree wants to help.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing. I didn't notice that as much, but that's really cool.
There was a description that I noticed that stood out to me. It was like describing the shadows of the trees like oil spilling into the forest. And I thought that was a really vivid picture.
Yeah.
And also added like an emotion. Because like you think of like oil spill, you kind of think of like, this is not right.
Yeah, so true.
That's what it connects to me.
That one in particular, it kind of gave me the feeling of like this like sneaky sort of feeling, like it's trying to like creep in the shadows, and it's like, oh no, like you don't want that to happen.
No.
Yeah.
But something else that pairs with the way that she wrote it and also the details that she chose is just the pacing. Like from a writing standpoint, she allowed the story to go at a slow pace. Because if you think about it, there's not a ton that happens over the course of the short story. But that's part of what makes it so powerful is allowing you to sit in the emotion.
You're like
you
walking
know?
with him in real time.
Yeah.
Almost.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the emotion of whether it's sadness or despair or any ones like that tend to be a very low energy kind of emotion. So
Interesting.
her writing the story that way fits so well
Wow.
with the emotion of the man too.
It captures the emotion really well because it's in the same pace.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like anger is a high intensity.
Energy,
Yeah.
So you have
energy.
more fast pace.
Exactly.
Right.
You might have an action scene or
Whoa.
something.
Or like
You know, 'cause of that.
anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like heart beating
Yes,
fast.
right.
Mm.
Wow, that's such a good point. And I
like
think
that.
that keeping the pacing slow also increases engagement because it allows the mystery to stay unsolved in a sense of like what exactly happened. And she doesn't even say the name of this man, you know,
I
he's just
know.
the man, which I think is kind of cool because it's like that part is not actually as important as the things that are going on in his heart at the moment.
Wow.
Because he's sort of
Such a good word.
what we call an everyman. That's right. Makes it
Yeah.
even more clear that
Right.
this is you
Right.
right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's anyone.
Yeah, that's so
But
good.
the part where this man recovers is just such a powerful moment because what we see is we
Yeah.
see him find this friend and he's fallen and there's holes in his parachute and whatever. And he starts to have more than just like things that are happening where he's taking care of his wound and trying to
Yeah.
walk and all this stuff. He starts to have this inner dialogue where
Oh,
you
such a
you
good
see a
part.
little bit more clearly the things that are going on in his heart where he feels alone, he feels numb, he feels
There's
like,
also like a lot of why questions.
like
why?
a sense of injustice of like
Yeah.
how could this happen
Mhm.
type of feelings. And so she gives you a little peek into those feelings. But then as soon as those feelings start to come up, she eases the burden of everything because he's suddenly like distracted from his own inner dialogue by something that's physically happening in the world around him, which is the arrival of the sunrise.
Oh, so good.
And we'll have like a link so you can go read the story as well. So,
It's so
you
good.
definitely have to go read the story. But
Yes.
this part in particular is my favorite part of the whole story, which is just the way that she describes the sunrise itself, the way she captures all the little details of everything the way that the landscape transforms from a place of darkness into a place of light. And that's exactly what this man in the story is noticing because he starts to see the way that the light is lining the clouds and the way that the light starts to gleam off of the snow and the trees like a million diamonds, she says. And I just
And
love
you can
it so
like
much.
imagine it. You're like, oh, yes.
You're like, wow. It's so immersive. It feels like a movie. You
Standing
know?
there with him.
Yeah, exactly. And what I feel about this is just it allows you to engage with the beauty in the same way that he does. And there's a line that she says that's so powerful where she says that the darkness behind his eyes starts to lift,
Wow.
which is such a cool thought because it's almost like what that made me think of at least was he was like looking inward at all of these despairing thoughts, you know, looking inward at the darkness that was going on inside. But then it says that the light from the sunrise starts to creep into his own soul
Wow.
and it starts to warm him from the inside and he starts remembering sweet memories with his family at his family cottage. And you're like, oh,
And
wow.
isn't that so true? Like that is like feels like how it feels.
Well, it's so
Yeah.
interesting because she's showing, not telling, so well like what actually happens in trauma. Because in trauma, it's like your physical body and your soul almost like gets separate. It's like you have this out of body experience where you can't like connect with the world because it's just like you've been jarred out.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yes.
And so this act of like observation of physical things, like seeing the light gleam and seeing the clouds and like it's a specific like physical observation. Like it's something that we use when we're feeling any kind of trauma Like, even if it's a little kind of trauma,
Right.
you ground yourself back into your physical space, and all of a sudden you can think clearly again.
Wow.
Ooh.
So good.
And so it's like she's painted this beautiful picture of a literal trauma. I mean, I think we could all agree that
I don't know how it wouldn't be.
this crash landing is
Yeah.
trauma. But then like you said, like, it's not just that he sees the sun, but he remembers.
Yeah, exactly.
He remembers something worth living for,
Mhm.
which is like what it is to be human. And so it's like
Wow.
he's come to himself again.
Yeah.
Like he's remembered who he is.
And
because of
gets a little
this.
bit of hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, just observing.
Yeah.
Like basic observations that don't feel profound, although they become this like profound spiritual experience for him.
Yeah.
And we can learn from that.
Absolutely.
Powerful.
And I just think about the Lord too, in the way that he orchestrates these moments for us. Like he gives us these pathways to be able to take a moment and observe. Like in this man's story, even though he's imaginary, it's almost like the Lord provided this sunrise to happen right at this moment, and not to wait another 7 hours or something until it happens.
Yeah, wow.
But just right at the moment where he needed it, to be able to reconnect with his reason for living and with hope and with something beautiful as well.
Yeah.
Which is such a powerful thing. And I just think that like that observation plus the connection with beauty, which is a reflection of the Lord,
Yes.
is just something that goes so well together in allowing you to recover
It
from
is really sweet.
from despair.
For those who are going through something really hard, it's just an encouragement to remember that hope appears when you don't expect it sometimes.
Yeah.
And to allow it to go into you, kind of like
Yeah.
he does with
Exactly.
the rays of the sun, his eyes open and he remembers. And I'm thankful for it, because there is so many times in our lives when we feel like, I can't handle this. This is too hard. And sometimes even in your own life, you might feel like, there was this moment when something happened when I suddenly felt myself again, felt hope again, and I felt like I could handle it.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, thank you so much for participating in this episode and listening. And thank you to all of our writers who joined us and shared your heart. Thank you, Esther, for being bold and writing this story.
Never stop writing.
For sharing your heart. Yes, your voice is needed in this world, so keep on writing. But please go read this story if you have the chance. To all the rest of you who are listening, go just engage with this beautiful piece that Esther has created, because that's what we're here for, is just to celebrate writing and the beauty that can come from it, and all the ways that we can connect to Jesus through writing and sharing stories. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again for joining us on the Rooted Minds podcast. If you're enjoying the kinds of discussions we're having, consider joining our learning community, where we teach the arts and have many more discussions like these. But until next time, may you find joy, grace, and peace in the pages you turn.